Hello, I am Bishop O.C. Allen. I am the Senior Pastor of the Vision Cathedral of Atlanta, the Executive Director of the Vision Community Foundation, and the CEO of I Elevate Plus TV. Well, we were at home watching CNN like so many other folks, and with our family having, drinks and talking, and my husband and I were playing with the kids who were very small at the time, and the story began to unfold on CNN. We were absolutely horrified. That moment just sort of replayed for us a deep sense of trauma and trigger, I think, with a lot of folks, if not everybody within the Black LGBTQI community. It was absolutely horrific. And then we were deeply saddened and just so in a place of sending our prayers and our thoughts to the families of those victims. Interestingly enough, one of those victims had a few months before come to our church to visit during a New Year's Eve service, and someone immediately called me and told me about that. And I was just absolutely horrified, not just because of the event, but also just what it meant in terms of the trauma and another layer of trauma that our community already has and would continue to have from that point on. I think our community has worked really hard to push our stories and our voices in the mainstream, whether very boldly or subtly. I think what I have seen in 5 years is a lot of our images in places that when I was growing up, no one could have ever imagined, as simple as a commercial that 5 years ago, I don't think that would have LGBTQI folk in it would just be inconceivable. And so I think there have been a lot of strides that have taken place in our community, that our community is trying to do. I think that our community has worked really hard to unify itself. And I think we have a lot of work to do. But it does appear that in 5 years of the Pulse event, and 5 years since a number of things that have occurred that have impacted our community, seem to be moving in a really great direction, even though, as I just said, there is a lot of work to do. Some of the stuff that we've done, obviously I am a pastor. I am an openly gay pastor who pastors and welcoming and affirming congregation. And so for many years, many years, we have been very specific about our work around social justice and also providing a place for LGBTQI folk. We're not just a safe place, because I believe that we should push really hard for every space to be a safe place, but we're also a bold place. So we push this idea that we're not just here to make you safe or to provide a safe space for you, but to also push you in your purpose, push you in your destiny, push your potential forward. So we've done that. We've done a lot of work in the community as it relates to HIV and AIDS and justice, and so many of our initiatives that have worked with LGBTQI youth. We're launching a new network, I Elevate Plus TV, that will provide a very strong platform for creatives and a media expression within our community, specifically the Black LGBTQI community. And so we've done a lot. There are a lot of folks that are doing a lot. There are a lot of institutions that are shifting and changing, but there's a lot of work to be done. We see a rise among the Black trans community. A lot of Black trans women have been murdered very recently, and it continues to happen. There is still an invisibility amongst the trans male community. There continues to be institutional homophobia and transphobia, whether that's political institutions or religious institutions, whether it's a mosque or a temple or a church or many different types of spaces that were intended to connect people to the divine. And so there is a lot of work to do. And that's why we all have to work really hard as a community to be the change and to push the change that we want to see. So I tell people all the time, you must live in your truth so you don't die in your lie. And so on a very individual level, we have to continue, whether it is one person, or whether it is, whether it's thousands of people, we have to inspire this notion of people living in their truth. And it's not, living in your truth is not exclusive to LGBTQI folk. Our parents, our communities, our clergy, our politicians. I think every human being should live in truth. Truth about not only who they are, but truth about their own passions and potential and purpose. So we as a community have an awesome opportunity through our own scars, through our own struggles, through our own trauma, to help the rest of the world to see how powerful it is when you step out on your truth and what can happen. There are so many examples in our community of people who were bold and courageous in spite of what they had to endure. That bold courage, I think if we tapped into that and pushed that as a narrative that all humanity should have, wouldn't it be amazing to see it manifested in everyone, no matter who they are, where they're going? And I believe that that is something that should be our work. Our work should be not just within our community, but we should see our work as inspiring the work of the rest of the world. I think the best thing that we can do as it relates to honoring the lives of those who were victims in Pulse is to live freely, to live boldly, to live courageously, to take their lives as a route to our own and extend that with our lives, being all that we can be, all that we should be, no matter what the challenges are. I know it's 5 years and next year it'll be 6 years and the years will move on. But this is a great opportunity through our honoring of their lives to live freely. Their lives were cut off, but we're still here. And so we have an opportunity to show the potential, to show the passion and the courage and the love that they were displaying, that they had within their own lives. I believe that at the end of the day, we are so connected. We're not just humans, right? We are spiritual beings in a human body. So even if the body decays and leaves as it will, no matter how it leaves, the spirit of who we are continues to live on. So in some way, I kind of feel like while their bodies are not with us, we pray for their families, their inspiration is with us, their lives are with us, who they are, and their dreams are with us, and their dreams are still alive and should be fulfilled.